Title I parent and guardian involver here at Hilo High School. We'd like to welcome you to our third quarter Principals Talk Story Hour with Principal Robert Dirks. It is March 28th, 2018, and we've got an exciting morning planned for you. And from here, I will send it off to our principal, Robert Dirks.
Good morning. Again, I feel it an honor and feel pretty lucky to be able to have the opportunity to share my thoughts and visions and reports to a wide variety of individuals who are hopefully watching through our Facebook live streaming. I first of all would like to thank those that are involved with this effort. We have Mr. Luke, who is the tech coordinator, and his team, and also Ms. Karen Welsh, who is our parent involver for arranging this and setting this up. But what I'd like to do is share a little bit with you about the general state of the school. First of all, we are moving very rapidly through this school year. Our first semester is completed, and now we are currently in our second semester. The school continues to provide the best possible education and opportunities available, and remembering the importance of the need for social activities also within our campus. There have been a number of things that have occurred over this past semester and are currently preparing now as we move into the end of the second semester. In review and in view of the recent mind-boggling violence that has occurred across our nation, Hilo High School recognized, with all the other high schools in the state of Hawaii, the tragic loss of the young lives in Florida by a student-led memorial of raising our hands against gun violence. Under the careful direction of our student leader and government leader and school community council chair, Lucy Ramirez, the students took a portion of the lunch hour to share their thoughts and feelings, both for and against the use of guns. Many students felt their voices were being heard, and the reflection that I've been also receiving from those students was they appreciated the time that they had to sit, to discuss, and of course to share their feelings about what had happened. It was a very, very trying time, emotional, but yet it was an opportunity for our students to essentially vent and to share their thoughts. As always, the safety and security of our students, as well as our staff, will always be our top priority here at Hilo High School. Relative to academics, well, I think since the start of the second semester, we have had a number of assessments to determine student learning, and it is currently being shared as we speak. In the month of February, the ACT was administered to those juniors wishing to take it, and this is in preparation for college. In this month, as well as next month, the month of April, our students will be taking the state-mandated SBA exam, both in language arts and math. In April, our students will also be taking the exiting biology exam. As a result of the preparation that the teachers and the students have been making towards these assessments, I can assure you that they'll do well and that they are prepared for the next challenges that face them as they move on and out of Hilo High School. Concerning athletics, of course, it's been expressed, and I guess you could say excitement has been shared that in the first semester, our football team was given the opportunity to show their experience and their professionalism, if you will, by taking the Division I state championship in Honolulu. This is something that hasn't been done by any Big Island football teams in quite a while, but it is a reflection of the coaching staff, the teachers, and the students themselves. So we'd like to acknowledge their efforts and on a job well done. It can be said at this time as well that all of our fall, winter, and now our spring athletic calendars remain full and productive. As far as our clubs and extracurricular activities are concerned, Our hats are taken off and recognize our robotics team. Our robotics team, under the leadership and direction of our teachers, Ryan Nakasato and Naira D, were able to take our robotics team to Honolulu and place in the top 3 in the first robotics competition, and that was at the Stan Sheriff Center at UH Manoa. They have now qualified to go to World's Championship in Houston, Texas in April 19th, 20, and 21. We wish them the best of luck and be a good Viking representative. We also want to share with you that as we end the school year, we are preparing for our May Day. And so every day now our students are preparing for that by preparing and by singing the song OEVA, which each class will have an opportunity to demonstrate their understanding of the song and, of course, try to be better than the other classes. And so there'll be a little competition at May Day, and that'll be exciting. So we encourage all our families and friends and parents to attend the evening session as well, where there'll be many talents shared, with cultural talents shared by the many students that we have here at Hilo High School. As you know, we are a Title I school, and we would like to break away just for a second to have our Title I coordinator, Deborah Hashimoto-Skorkov, share a little bit about the Title I program. Debbie?
Welcome. I am Mrs. Hashimoto-Skorkov, Hilo High School's Title I coordinator. ESSA, Every Student Succeeds Act, was signed into law in December 10, 2015. ESSA holds all students to high academic standards that prepare them for success in college and careers, as well as allows states to redirect resources into what works to help schools improve. Title I funds are used to fund our state's long-term and interim goals in the state's plan for ESSA. Title I is the federal education program that provides financial assistance to schools with high numbers or high percentages of children from lower income families to help ensure that all children meet challenging state academic standards. Hilo High School is one of the Hawaii public schools that meet this requirement, therefore receives Title I funds from the federal government. Our school is committed to support all of our students. The Title I funds help us support student achievement by preparing our students for success for college and careers, as well as help support our parent-family engagement. Please feel free to contact me at 313-5500 if you have any questions or comments. Thank you and have a great day.
Aloha and welcome back to the Principal's virtual talk story session for the third quarter of 2018. Mahalo, Principal Dirks, for being here and always being available for our parents and guardians and giving us the opportunity to ask you important questions, questions that are vital to the culture and climate of the school. The first question I have is about long-term substitutes. One parent asks, why are they needed and what is being done to hire highly qualified teachers?
Thank you for that question. Here at Hilo High School, we want, of course, the best possible highly qualified teachers to instruct your children in whatever areas of expertise that is being asked and being taught. There are occasions where there is a need to have individuals come into the school, and I'm saying long-term substitutes, to essentially carry the torch or carry the burden of what that particular teacher that was not able to complete the year accomplish. So what our goal is, of course, is to maintain and keep the education to your students moving in a direction that is positive, as well as enlightening, and a learning environment is created. So we actively hire those individuals or those substitutes that have the expertise in the particular field that they may be substituting in, or have that willingness to take information and apply it in a way that is understandable by the students themselves. The subs that we currently employ here at Hilo High School are all aware of Hilo High School's rules, regulations, and policies. And I might add that they are also treated as regular staff members as they are a part of our ohana. So we appreciate the efforts of these substitute teachers. And as we are able to hire to replace their efforts, we will certainly do so.
Another guardian was concerned about attendance policy and asked, what is the attendance policy?
The attendance policy. Every school has an attendance policy, and I would just like to say, first of all, that you can access the attendance policy by going online at our website, and also as a parent, if your student does attend our school, in the parent handbook. It explains a lot about the attendance policy and how it's applied. As you would probably imagine, we encourage all our students to attend class on a regular basis, but we also realize that absences are sometimes unavoidable. Missing a class will not prevent students from graduating, but their attendance is important because of the learning during that class period. The learning is the basis for their education and cannot be replaced. The more a student misses class, the less they participate in instruction, making it a little more difficult to complete the class and the homework. The students' grades suffer as they may because of the fact that they're not currently in the class. However, we do encourage our teachers that as much as possible to provide work to be made up for the students, either through our Infinite Campus where they are assigned, or by a call to the school where we can provide whatever missed assignments.
Thank you. You did talk about gun violence in your opening statement, and parents and guardians are concerned about that. So one asks, with the school shootings, there is a concern now that it could occur in Hawaii. What safeguards are in place to thwart that possibility?
Of course, having seen what occurs in some of the other jurisdictions throughout the nation, the last thing we would ever want to see here in Hawaii, even here at Hilo High School, is to have something like that occur. With that being said, we always need to be prepared for whatever may come our way. Hilo High School, as well as all Department of Education schools, work with local police departments in, for example, active shooter drills. This is opportunities where the police sort of share with us their philosophies and their procedures in terms of protecting the students and the staff here at the school. The school itself schedules what they call lockdown drills, where we keep students and staff indoors behind locked doors and closed windows to prevent any access by individuals that shouldn't be even on campus. We also I must add at this time that we shouldn't confuse lockdown drills with shelter-in-place drills, although they do both require that students remain where they're at as well as the staff members. Shelter-in-place drills are a result and have been applied since the recent missile attack crises that we had recently in Hawaii. And I believe that when we have shelter in place, that is directly under the direction of our state civil defense, where we are told that we need to take the shelter in place and we remain there until advised otherwise. Whereas the lockdown would be governed by whatever support we receive from the police department, where we are given the all clear, where doors and the students and the teachers are available to move about the campus freely. So those are the two drills that we do practice, but the lockdown specifically applies to the situation that we may have in terms of an active shooter or something along those lines here at Hilo High School.
Thank you. Another parent asked, are you, as our school leader, willing to pledge not to accept any money from the NRA from this day forward and for your tenure as principal at Hilo High School?
The NRA, or the National Rifle Association, is an organization that supports the use of guns for whatever purpose that individuals who exercise their Second Amendment rights wish to do. I think for my purposes, and as a general rule, any decisions that are made here at Hilo High School related to these kinds of issues especially are not governed by political agendas, but are decided by what is in the best interest for our students. This is how principals and Department of Education leaders move forward, and this is how I plan on addressing that particular question. Political agendas will always have restrictions that may or may not be of the best interest of students. So I feel that this is how I would proceed.
Thank you, Principal Dirks. The next question has to do with uniforms. Will uniforms ever be enforced?
Uniforms are, I believe, a means to ensure that we can account for all the students that we have on campus. It's also a means to keep those students that don't belong on our campus away. We've started, of course, the student IDs that identify those students that do belong on our campus, where a uniform may not necessarily do that. But as far as Hilo High School is concerned, I would say for a big part of my tenure here at the school, and just about every year, the recommendation does come forth, usually through the school community council, relative to the need to look at uniforms. In most cases, research is done, meaning surveys are taken, students, parents, and teachers are asked whether or not uniforms are in the cards, if you will, for Hilo High School. Every year that this has come up, the vote, if you will, has always been keeping it status quo. I am not opposed to uniforms if this is the direction that the community and the parents and the students feel, but keeping in mind the need for student voice as well, I believe that students know whether or not uniforms are necessary. I'd like to add, though, with that we are a professional type of organization where we are preparing schools or students for work readiness. So the question always comes up, is this what we would wear if we were to attend a job or work? So what I'd like to do is have our parents and our guardians work in partnership with the school to ensure that the students are appropriately dressed before they come to school, and encourage your student to wear those things that would be acceptable on the work site. That would be a great help to us, and likewise, it would give the students a little bit more understanding of the importance of work readiness.
Thank you. The next question is about the school bell schedule, and I'm going to give you two questions in one, and hopefully you can answer them both. Can you explain the confusing daily schedules, and why can't we finish the same time every day and have one short day?
Both excellent questions. First of all, the bell schedules will probably be different in just about every school that you go to, and I speak about the high schools at this time. Depending on what the direction is of the school, what the school feels is necessary to accomplish the goal of the school, which of course is to educate our students, as well as to provide support for our teachers. So there are various types of bell schedules that are available. The normal process that we use here at Hilo High School is that if there is a need to review perhaps a change to a bell schedule, or we would like to consider another type of bell schedule, what we'll do is we'll bring it to the faculty. We will provide them the reviews of the pluses and the minuses, or the pros and cons of the different bell schedules. They break up into groups where they talk about, again, the pros and the cons. And then what they'll do is they'll provide their feedback to leadership as to what they think will work. In a majority of cases, there is a staff vote as to which direction the school will go. In most cases, and I would say in all cases, it will always be based on the most votes received. And then the question's asked, is it something that those that can't didn't submit that as a possible schedule, can they live with it? Of course, the teachers all realize the importance of educating the students and also for the opportunities for them to receive professional development and other things. They will vote for or support the proposed bell schedule. In the case here at Hilo High School, we look at 3 days out of the week. Mondays, Wednesdays, and some Fridays, where it's a shortened day, and that allows for professional development, review of data that we have on students. For example, the ninth grade teams take every opportunity they can to review student data so that they're able to provide support and help for the students as they move towards success in their particular areas. And so as a result, 3 of those 5 days will be shortened for that purpose. Again, professional development and review of data of the students. I might add that all the class periods, Monday through Friday, are all 80-minute periods. It's just that certain days, like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, they're shortened, so you'll have 3 periods a day, whereas your Tuesday, Thursdays are a little bit longer with 4 periods a day, but they're all at 80 minutes. The students receive equal amount of instruction, yet the teachers are afforded 3 days out of the week the opportunity to be uplifted and edified through professional development and data review.
Well, I think right now we would like to take a break, and we will be back after this commercial. Mahalo.
Aloha and welcome to Hilo High School, home of the mighty Vikings. Located in the city of Hilo on the Big Island, our students are encouraged to kulia I kanu'u, or strive for excellence. Back in the 1900s, if any student on the Big Island wanted to pursue their education, they would have needed to attend a boarding school on Oahu. To better serve the community, Hilo High School was founded in 1905. Celebrating over 100 years of service to our community, Hilo High School has a rich history and legacy, one that is continuing to grow.
Here at Hilo High School, we not only strive for great academics, but we also strive for different forms of success.
Our student body is comprised of a group of students that have different interests within their career aspirations or their extracurricular activities.
We have really good electives such as marketing if they'd want to go into a business field, culinary if they'd want to go into hospitality and food. We also have photography, which is a good arts program that they can go into.
As the chair of the School Community Council at Hilo High School, students are allowed to share their voice through this council because the council is made up of administration, staff, teachers, parents, community members, and students. I love how this school lets students actively share their voice through these ICC meetings because teachers, staff, and administration are always there and listening to create a change.
Being a member of a service club has allowed my eyes to open to the real world. Through this experience, I have learned many new traits, such as being a better public speaker, being more confident in myself.
Overall, students here at Hilo High School work together to achieve incredible success.
Taking our vision to heart, students strive for excellence beyond the classroom. Thanks to their efforts, all of our recent awards and achievements have come directly from the student body. Clubs such as our robotic and DECA programs have brought home multiple awards and trophies in design and excellence. And remember, once a Viking, always a Viking!
When the Gannon Mono, or first-year folks, arrived in Hawaii in 1868, they brought their culture and values with them from Japan.
Wasureruna.
Wasureruna means don't forget. The Gannon Mono did not want the next generation, the Nisei, or any other generations to forget who they were and where they had come from.
Uketsuge.
Uketsuge means to receive. The values of the Ganon Mono were received by the second generation so that they would perpetuate their legacy. The Ganon Mono brought the musubi to Hawaii, but over the years, this musubi was adapted to the multicultural Hawaii lifestyle, becoming the Spam musubi.
Tsutairo.
Tsutairo means to share. By sharing the Ganon Mono legacy with future generations, we will continue to adapt the values of the Ganon Mono to our lifestyles, so we can reinforce the bridge between Hawaii and Japan.
Aloha and welcome back to the third quarter virtual Principals Talk Story Hour with Principal Robert Dirks here at good old Hilo High School. And before I go back for him to answer a couple more questions, I do want to invite all parents, guardians, students, teachers, faculty, staff, anyone watching this, that we are going to have a wonderful combined school community council, PTSA, along with a nice dinner and some breakout sessions, educational sessions for learning on Wednesday, April 25th. 2018. So I want you to mark your calendars and you'll be getting more information about that and you'll be asked to RSVP for the dinner. But I think it's going to be a lovely evening. It's going to be just full of wonderful information and I think a few surprises. So please mark your calendar for April 25th. And now I'll go back to asking Principal Robert Dirks some questions. This next one is on security. Principal Dirks, how is security positioned on campus?
Thank you. Before I answer that question, again, I want to take the time to thank those that have made this possible. It's kind of, I'm awestruck to realize that you can have a large audience that you can reach through this medium, and I know that we'd like to see more of this type of communication link, if you will, with the community, with the parents of Hilo High School, for other venues as well, not necessarily just for me. So again, I want to thank those who are involved with this effort. Security. Currently, Hilo High School employs 5 security officers. As you would imagine, we have a campus that covers quite a large area, from the new gym, all the way up Wainuinui to where we reach where our metals and wood shop and auto shop is. That is just the length, and then the width, of course, covers from the Gulch over to Wainuinui Avenue. We have what they call an open campus. As much as we have fencing, that doesn't prevent, if you will, individuals who wish to just come in and drink some water or something that aren't staff members or students from coming on. So we always have to make sure that we're able to keep an eye on the areas that are more prone to access. Again, this is keeping in mind the importance of protecting and ensuring the health and safety of our students as well as our staff. One of our security's responsibilities is to patrol campus zones. Because of the width and length of the campus, we divide it into approximately 5 zones. Each zone is manned by a security member, and they are to patrol regularly those areas. Occasionally, they will radio in their area as either all clear and or there are some questions that may have to be addressed by administration, maybe work that's going on the campus, by contractors, or whatever that might be. So there is that constant communication from these zones. The zones may be narrowed down to a much smaller area at different times of the school day. For example, at the start of the school day, usually during recesses, and as well as after school, because a majority of our students will be collected in those areas and not spread throughout the campus as it would be a regular school day. Again, we try to ensure that we have our security members located as remote as possible, but then on certain times of the day, they will be in close proximity to where the students are gathered in large groups as they prepare again for recesses and things along that lines. So the zones are the key to ensuring that our campus is safe and patrolled regularly.
Thank you, Principal Dirks. Before I ask the final question sent in by a parent or guardian, I do want to invite all parents, guardians, and concerned community members to send questions to me that can be used during the Principal Talk Story time. We try to ask as many as possible during this hour-long program. My email is K, that's just the letter K, Welsh, WELSH, at viking.k12.hi.us. So please send in your questions. I always send them anonymously to Principal Dirks, so he has no idea which parent or guardian is asking these questions, just so that you have some anonymity and feel freedom in asking these questions. So my last question has to do with bathrooms. And one parent wants to know, why are the bathrooms locked as soon as school is finished?
Okay, that is a good question. Before I answer that particular question about bathrooms in general, we're fortunate in that we have a school community council where their students' voices are very pronounced and I will say loud and clear in terms of what they would like to see occur on the campus. Recently at our community meeting, we have 2 a year. We have one coming up, I think Karen had mentioned that in April 25th. We had one in October, I believe it was, where concerns were brought up and addressed by parents, community, teachers, as well as students. One of them across the board was the bathrooms. So what the students did, they have a task group that is formed with students and some parents, where there is a checklist that is drafted up, and the students themselves will visit the various restrooms and be able to indicate things that they see or don't see as it relates to cleanliness, bathroom tissue, hand soap, leaks if there's leaks underneath the sinks, so that we're able to address them as quickly as possible. That's a good thing because we are able to get this information and then get it to our custodial staff to address it, or have DAGs come and actually work on leaks that might be occurring. So that's a very good thing, and I wanted to make sure you were aware of that. We are an older school, as you would imagine, and so some of our restrooms were around during the time that perhaps you were attending Hilo High School and even past that or before that. But the question is about blocking them after school is finished. Not all bathrooms are locked. What we do is that because the students are pretty much off campus, the few that remain, because of supervision needs, we close those bathrooms that are remote from the area, like the parking lots, from the areas where athletics may be, and some of the buildings in the vicinity of the main parking lot and the patios. We have limited amount of supervisors that can be there to watch those bathrooms, so therefore these bathrooms remain unlocked. But the remote areas that we don't have the supervision to cover, we will close them. I'd also like to mention that the custodians also will be cleaning those remote bathrooms while the few that remain open after school remain so, and then they are cleaned after the students leave. So I think our bathrooms are making progress. We're trying our best to upkeep them, and I thank those students and parents who have volunteered their time to actually monitor the conditions of the restrooms.
Mahalo, Principal Dirks. That's all I have for today. Again, we're looking forward to seeing everyone on April 25th, and we look forward to receiving your RSVPs for this event. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you.